Your kidneys are silently struggling right now, and statistically, you have no idea. Not because the disease is rare, because the warning signs are so subtle, so easy to explain away, that most people dismiss them for years before anyone connects the dots. By then, the damage is already done. I'm Dr. Steve Collins, and on Dr. Steve, we don't wait for catastrophe, we get ahead of it. Here's what we know. Almost all of us will experience some degree of kidney function decline as we age. That's not the crisis. The rate of that decline, how fast your kidneys are losing ground, that's what separates people who age well from people who eventually face dialysis. And the difference often comes down to whether you caught the early signals or quietly ignored them for years. Your kidneys are doing something extraordinary right now. Every single day, they filter approximately 200 liters of blood. They strip out waste products, balance your electrolytes, regulate fluid levels, produce critical hormones, and maintain your body's internal environment in precise, unforgiving equilibrium. These are not minor background tasks. They are foundational to every other system you depend on. When they start to fail, everything falls apart with them. Your blood pressure, your bones, your heart, your brain, your energy, your skin, all of it. The real tragedy here is that early kidney disease is largely preventable and manageable, but only if you catch it in time, and most people don't. The early symptoms don't announce themselves loudly. They look like tiredness, or normal aging, or stress. By the time the symptoms become undeniable, significant and sometimes irreversible damage has already taken hold. So today, we're going through 7 early warning signs that your kidneys are under serious stress. We'll cover exactly what's happening at a physiological level with each one, why each sign matters clinically, and critically, how you distinguish a normal variation from a signal that demands urgent medical attention. Because that distinction is the difference between early intervention that preserves your kidney function and late-stage crisis management that only slows the inevitable. Your kidneys can't speak to you directly, but they are always sending signals. Let's learn how to read them. Warning sign 1, foamy urine. Let's start with the sign most people see and dismiss every single day, foamy urine. Now, occasional foam when you urinate is completely normal, especially if you're dehydrated or urinating with some force behind it. That's not what we're concerned about. We're talking about foam that persists, foam that sits there like dish soap, doesn't break up quickly, and appears consistently most times you go. That specific pattern is a red flag you should not be walking away from. What that foam is telling you is that protein is escaping into your urine, and that should almost never happen in a healthy system. Your kidneys contain approximately 1 million tiny filtering units called nephrons. Each one contains a glomerulus, a dense cluster of microscopic blood vessels behind an extraordinarily precise filtration membrane. That membrane is designed to hold large, valuable molecules like proteins inside your bloodstream while allowing waste to pass through into urine. When those membranes are damaged from high blood pressure, diabetes, chronic inflammation, or other causes, they begin to leak. Proteins, particularly albumin, start slipping through into your urine. When albumin makes contact with your toilet water, it behaves exactly like soap. It foams persistently, and the foam doesn't resolve quickly. Here's what compounds the danger. Protein now passing into your kidney tubules doesn't simply pass through harmlessly. It activates inflammatory cascades and oxidative stress, accelerating the damage already occurring, a self-perpetuating destructive cycle. A simple dipstick urine test can detect this protein. If it's positive, a 24-hour urine collection tells you exactly how much albumin you're losing per day. Early treatment of proteinuria can dramatically slow the pace of kidney disease progression. Warning sign 2, ankle swelling. Most people blame persistent ankle swelling on long travel, warm weather, or being on their feet all day. Sometimes that's entirely accurate. But swelling that does not resolve with rest or elevation, swelling that's worse in the morning, swelling that pits when you press your finger into it and leaves a visible dent, that has a different story behind it. The mechanism connects directly to the protein loss we just discussed. As albumin leaks through your damaged kidney filters, your blood albumin levels progressively fall. Albumin in healthy circulation creates oncotic pressure, essentially a pulling force that keeps fluid locked inside your blood vessels. As albumin drops, that pressure weakens. Fluid seeps out of your vessels and floods into the surrounding tissue. Gravity then does its work, dragging that fluid down into your ankles, feet, and progressively, your knees and thighs. A second mechanism piles on top of that. Damaged kidneys struggle to excrete sodium efficiently, and wherever sodium accumulates, water follows directly behind it. This compounds the fluid load dramatically. The kidneys also produce pressure-regulating hormones, and when those hormonal systems are disrupted by kidney damage, the fluid retention spirals further. A blood albumin test and urine analysis can start to clarify whether your kidneys are the underlying cause. Don't attribute this one to something benign without checking. Warning sign 3. Profound, persistent fatigue. Fatigue has dozens of potential explanations, but CKD-related fatigue carries a specific fingerprint, and once you understand the mechanism driving it, the pattern becomes unmistakable. It isn't tiredness that improves after coffee or a solid night of sleep. It's a deep, crushing exhaustion, a heaviness that makes completely ordinary tasks feel overwhelming and disproportionately difficult. Here's the mechanism. Your kidneys produce a hormone called erythropoietin, EPO, which directly signals your bone marrow to manufacture red blood cells. When kidney function declines, EPO production falls with it. Fewer red blood cells means reduced oxygen carrying capacity throughout your entire system. Less oxygen reaches your muscles, your organs, and critically, your brain. The result is fatigue that runs deeper than anything lifestyle factors alone can explain. What makes this particularly dangerous is its gradual onset. You don't become significantly anemic overnight. It creeps in slowly over months. You adapt to feeling progressively worse. You attribute it to aging, to stress, to disrupted sleep. And by the time the anemia has progressed far enough to trigger testing, meaningful kidney damage may already have occurred. A full blood count will reveal low hemoglobin and low hematocrit. Further investigation confirms whether reduced EPO production, rather than iron deficiency or blood loss, is the driver. This is educational, not medical advice. We're evidence-led and we manage risk carefully. But if this pattern resonates with your experience, please get tested. Warning sign 4. Waking multiple times to urinate at night, nocturia. Waking once overnight to urinate if you're over 50 is common and not automatically alarming. But waking 3, 4, 5 times, producing significant volumes of urine each time, and noticing this pattern has steadily worsened over recent weeks or months, that demands attention. Research published in the American Journal of Kidney Disease identifies nocturia as an early symptom of chronic kidney disease that is chronically overlooked in clinical practice. The mechanism is direct. Healthy kidneys concentrate urine during sleep. Your body releases antidiuretic hormone, ADH, which instructs your kidneys to reabsorb water and produce only small, highly concentrated amounts of urine overnight. That's precisely why your first morning urine is darker and more pungent than urine produced later in the day. When kidney function declines, that concentrating ability is lost. Damaged tubules can no longer respond adequately to ADH signaling. Your kidneys keep producing dilute urine all through the night. Your bladder fills repeatedly. You wake up, you go back to sleep, it fills again. This is not an overactive bladder issue. This is a fundamental breakdown in your kidney's ability to synchronize fluid regulation with your circadian biology. The key signal to watch for is progressive worsening over time, not a single bad night, but a pattern that's getting consistently and noticeably worse. Warning sign 5, puffy eyes every morning. This one consistently surprises people, and I understand why. You wake up, look in the mirror, and both eyes are symmetrically swollen and puffy. You assume poor sleep, allergies, or simply aging. You splash water on your face and dismiss it entirely. But periorbital edema, bilateral swelling around the eyes, is a well-documented clinical sign of kidney dysfunction directly tied to protein loss and fluid dysregulation. The skin surrounding your eyes is the thinnest and most elastic skin anywhere on your body. It reveals fluid accumulation faster and more visibly than any other location. When albumin leaks through failing kidney filters and blood protein levels fall, fluid escapes your blood vessels into surrounding tissue. During sleep, when you're lying horizontally, that fluid doesn't pool down in your ankles. It distributes broadly throughout your body. The loose, thin tissue encircling your eyes offers the path of least resistance. So you wake up with visible puffiness. As you move through the day upright, the fluid disperses and the swelling often partially improves, until it returns again the following morning. Not every case of morning puffiness points to your kidneys. Allergies, poor sleep, and simply getting older can all cause this. The critical distinction is whether multiple signs are clustering together. Puffy eyes accompanied by foamy urine, ankle swelling, or deep fatigue, especially if you carry risk factors like diabetes or hypertension, moves kidney disease firmly to the top of the list. Warning sign 6, muscle cramps, especially at rest. This sign seems entirely disconnected from kidney function on the surface. But once you understand the electrolyte regulation your kidneys perform continuously, the connection becomes impossible to ignore. Studies confirm that electrolyte dysregulation from declining kidney function commonly manifests as muscle cramping, and these cramps carry a distinctive quality that sets them apart from normal post-exercise soreness. Your kidneys are constantly balancing sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and phosphate, the electrical minerals that govern every muscle contraction and nerve impulse in your body. As kidney function deteriorates, that precision balancing collapses. Levels drift dangerously high or low. The electrical environment governing your muscles becomes erratic and unpredictable. Low calcium renders muscles hyperexcitable. Depleted magnesium prevents proper muscle relaxation after contraction. Potassium imbalances, in either direction, disrupt normal electrical firing through nerves and muscle fibers. The result is sudden, powerful, involuntary contractions that will not release. These kidney-related cramps typically strike at rest, most frequently overnight. They can arrive alongside weakness, tingling in the fingers, or even irregular heartbeat. All of these indicate that the electrical chemistry of your body is no longer being properly maintained. A comprehensive metabolic panel tests both your electrolyte levels and kidney function together. Don't assume frequent severe nighttime cramps are just dehydration. If they're clustering with any other signs from this list, your kidneys need investigation. Warning sign 7, persistent, unexplained itchy skin. We save the most unexpected sign for last. Not a rash, not a bite, just a widespread, relentless itch that doesn't respond to antihistamines, doesn't improve with moisturizer, and tends to be most brutal at night, disrupting your sleep, draining your concentration, and steadily eroding your quality of life. This is uremic pruritus, one of the most distressing and least recognized symptoms of advancing kidney disease. The mechanism runs deep and operates on multiple levels simultaneously. As kidney filtering capacity declines, toxic waste products accumulate in the bloodstream. Some of these toxins deposit directly into skin tissue, triggering localized inflammatory responses and persistent itching. Parathyroid hormone levels also rise as failing kidneys lose the ability to activate vitamin D and regulate calcium and phosphate, and elevated parathyroid hormone is strongly associated with this itch response. There's also a neurogenic layer here, where the metabolic disruption of kidney failure interferes with nerve signaling itself, producing the subjective sensation of itching with no visible change on the skin at all. And because the kidneys are failing to regulate fluid balance properly, skin can become dehydrated and hypersensitive, even while fluid is accumulating in other parts of the body. What makes uremic pruritus particularly alarming is its resistance to conventional treatment. It intensifies as kidney disease progresses. Meaningful relief frequently doesn't arrive until kidney function is significantly restored, or dialysis or transplant intervenes. If you have widespread unexplained itching with no visible skin cause, and you carry any risk factors we've discussed today, kidney testing is not optional. It is essential. Now consider the thread connecting all 7 of these signals. They're not random or coincidental. Foamy urine tells you your filtration membranes are leaking. Ankle swelling and puffy eyes reveal that fluid regulation has broken down. Bone-deep fatigue signals that EPO production and red blood cell supply are both compromised. Nocturia exposes the loss of your kidney's ability to concentrate urine in rhythm with your sleep cycle. Muscle cramps betray dangerous electrolyte dysregulation, and persistent, treatment-resistant itching tells you that metabolic waste is accumulating in places it should never reach. No single sign in isolation confirms kidney disease. Having 1 or 2 of these symptoms doesn't mean you're heading toward dialysis, but these are signals your body is not generating randomly. They carry physiological meaning, especially if you carry risk factors like diabetes, hypertension, or a family history of kidney disease. The earlier this is identified, the more options remain available to you, not just to slow the progression, but in many cases to genuinely protect decades of healthy kidney function that would otherwise be lost. The people who reach crisis almost never had no warning. They had every warning. They simply waited. If this video made you look at your own symptoms differently, drop your questions and experiences in the comments below. We read everything. And if you haven't subscribed to Dr. Steve yet, now is exactly the moment, because this level of analysis is what we deliver every single week. Your kidneys have been sending signals for longer than you realize. The question is, what are you going to do now that you know how to read them?